The US claims that the Cuban government pockets more than 80% of the salaries that the Cuban doctors receive from their work abroad. But the word that the US should be using is invest, because the money that is earned from the program gets allocated to the Cuban healthcare and education systems, in which future doctors receive free education.
There is a claim in this material saying that the entirety of the money that is illegally taken away from the doctors would be justified because that money is invested in the public healthcare system and the education of the new generations of Cuban doctors. Let's think about it for a second. If we are talking about investment, our own surveys inside Cuba show that at this point, the Cuban healthcare system is at its worst time. Zero investment in improving the infrastructure or the equipment. No money is being invested in improving the much vaunted Cuban public healthcare system. Now let's talk about the doctors. As per the official figures provided by Cuban authorities, the amount of money that has been obtained by the Cuban government through this exploitation has ranged from between 11.3 to 6.3 billion. As per Cuban official stats, last year, a little more of 10,000 doctors were graduated from the Cuban university system. Now here's the question. If you take any of these amounts, each of these professionals would have, at least by this description, costed the Cuban government in between $120,000 and $70,000 per year if you take into account the entirety of the 90,000 plus Cuban medical personnel that exist on island, or 10 times that number when we are talking only about their recent graduates. I think it's a blatant lie to say that a dime of the money obtained through this human trafficking and treatment akin to slavery scheme is actually invested for the benefit of the Cuban people.
Furthermore, doctors enroll in these missions voluntarily, and they can also leave voluntarily. Both them and their families get all their basic needs taken care of.
It is also extremely interesting when a claim like this is actually put forward. When you are saying that Cuban medical personnel is free to leave the missions, it actually contradicts thousands of interviews that we have sustained with Cuban medical personnel that have abandoned these missions. The level of abuse, including sexual harassment, blackmailing, threats to themselves and their families, it's actually the norm. So, what freedom are we speaking here? What are we talking about? Because when we are talking about a person being free to leave a situation that is, at least in this video, described as a free agreement, it's actually a situation where the person is subject to a sanction that avoids and impedes this person to return to his or her home country for 8 years. We cannot be talking about freedom. I think again that this type of manifestations sheds light in a more useful way than any other comment or remark that we could put forward.